Now, one thing is for certain is that we all know that Meghan Markle is very self-absorbed, narcissistic, inauthentic, phony in nature, and it really does show not just to the critics, but even now to her very own fans, her very own supporters that are beginning to actually see who she really is, who she's really all about, and exactly what she's been up to over at Netflix, what she's been up to within the film industry, and how everything is beginning to backfire, not just for her, but her entire team. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Meghan Markle right now is that we know that she is in full-on damage control mode and double down mode, along with being very desperate at this point to really kind of salvage whatever is left of her career, whether it has anything to do with acting or anything along those lines. She likes to believe that she's an actress when in reality she's really not. Focusing on this in isolation, we know that With Love Meghan Season 2 is a very big mess right now. We know that reshoots are set and ready to begin in just a short number of days. We'll actually update you guys on that day by day, but what's interesting about this further has a lot to do with exactly what happened when she recently got cancelled in a very unique way that I think really just goes to show you exactly how far Meghan Markle is willing to go down the rabbit hole to really save her career. Now, one thing about Meghan Markle right now is that, yes, we do know that she's trying to do whatever she has to do to patch things up with CEO Greg Peters, to really kind of, beg for a Season 3. That's essentially what she's doing right now as well. However, with Meghan Markle now in serious trouble, not just at Netflix, but within the entire film industry, one significant development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle and her recent behavior after she was recently cancelled by a major Hollywood studio that recently finalized her cancellation. This comes from Amazon MGM Studios, after they decided to not just cancel her reality TV show, but as it turns out, get this, Amazon was also working on a documentary series featuring Meghan Markle that they were going to begin filming by this fall. After Meghan was given the boot and was essentially fired by Amazon MGM Studios, where she lost her documentary deal and even her reality TV show deal for Amazon Prime Video, as of now, Meghan is already gathering a legal team to go at full force against Amazon, canceling, of course, her shows. Markle, of course, believes that she holds a discrimination case against Amazon and is already blaming misogyny and sexism for her losing her major contract deal with Amazon that was going to be a whopping, get this, $70 million for starters. A little bit less than what Netflix had handed her to, of course, which was around $100 million to produce the two shows. The main reason why Amazon decided to pull the plug and cancel not just the shows, but Meghan Markle altogether had to do with the fact that just like Netflix, Amazon found out that Meghan was copying other major television programs from the early 2000s and even the 2010s. Even her documentary was reportedly a copy and paste documentary from other docu-projects. Amazon Studios and their defense is that they canceled Markle internally to protect not just themselves, but to also keep their customers and to prevent them from canceling their Prime membership. Now guys, let me say one thing about this. Now, I think that Amazon obviously made a very good call here. This is the call that they had to make. We talked about this for like 2 months. That this was basically, one of her, last routes to go, was to head over to Amazon to create something over there, and Amazon was all for it. They were on board with Meghan Markle for quite a while, until she got caught in the act, until they learned internally through their Netflix contacts what she was actually up to for With Love Meghan Season 2. We talked about this, about how Season 2 was not only getting very political by dragging in political cameos, but she was also caught copying from other television shows, mainly reality TV programs from decades ago that she was inserting into Season 2, and how Amazon also caught wind of that, and how they saw that happening in her pitches for the reality TV show, and of course the documentary series. And that just goes to show you how uncreative Meghan Markle really is. She is creatively bankrupt. She doesn't have a creative thought in her mind. And that's exactly why she really does not belong in this business, in the industry, in the film industry specifically, right? Whether it's television or movies, whatever have you. This is where it gets interesting, though. To make matters worse for Meghan Markle is that she has now reportedly stopped stooping so low to head over and pitch the shows that she lost to Amazon to MTV instead, since she does hold a past with them, to potentially create those shows. She also is in deep negotiations with the Disney company to create a family-friendly show of her own. However, surprisingly, MTV is already disinterested in Meghan's pitches, and reportedly to her, of course, that unless there are improvements, no contract deal will be made for 2026 in the very early stages. Things escalated to the point where Meghan Markle is now also preparing to go completely public on her podcast about her issues with Amazon canceling her and her plans, and to share all of her issues about the studio for shooting her down and why she believed it came from a very biased place. Look, guys, I don't think it came from a biased place at all. They also got rid of Katy Perry. She was supposed to have a docu-series on Amazon MGM Studios for Amazon Prime Video, and how it was going to be all about the Blue Origin spaceflight. That got canned, that got axed, it got slashed from their overall slate of projects. And so there really is no bias there, alright? They're doing this to just a lot of people that have no common sense, to personalities that really are no longer, interested by the general public, and people are just getting a better mindset when it comes to entertainment, whether it's film or television, streaming, whatever it may be. Now, Meghan, alright, was also blaming Amazon that they canceled her over political reasons as well, when in reality it had nothing to do with that. If MTV and Disney don't create any kind of a contract deal for Markle, she is reportedly going to resort to a phase where she will fund her own low-budget projects for the internet on video sharing platforms. Gee, I wonder where that's going to be. However, this is said to be Meghan's last resort if all else fails. This entire process between herself, Amazon, and MTV, along with Disney, are expected to stretch into the fall of this year, and she is also beginning, of course, to beg Netflix for a season 3 of With Love, Meghan. When in reality, guys, let's be very real, even if they did do a season 3 of With Love, Meghan, technically it's really just a season 2, because what they did for With Love, Meghan season 2 is very sneaky and very misleading. Basically, it is just season 1 cut up into 2 parts. Nothing was renewed, nothing was picked up, the show wasn't that successful to the point where they actually had to say, let's renew it for a second season. No, they just shot all 16 episodes at once, and they said, let's call the second half season 2, make it seem like it was successful, make it seem like it was a big hit by saying that we renewed it for a new one. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about Meghan Markle's situation right now, because this just goes to show you that there are fewer and fewer studios willing to actually give her a shot now in 2025, let alone in 2026. And what looms for that year is going to be disastrous for Meghan Markle if things do not pan out in her favor, if things do not go in her favor, I should say, for MTV, Disney, etc., etc. So overall, I would really love to hear what everyone has to say about the whole Meghan Markle situation and everything else going on over at Netflix between Greg Peters and Ted Sarandos and the executives over there. It's a very big deal. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.